So in addition to all this other stuff that I'm doing, I'm also writing a bunch of music for this game. The music that is playing in the background, I wrote myself using Ableton. Some of it I will be doing in Bitwig. We'll see how that goes, but as I am using that with my other class, figured it's just a good idea to do some of the music in that so that I have that experience and hands-on with it. But the music that is in the background right now is this piece right here. It is known as Andalusian Ambience. It's currently on the web. It will be on my website here probably the next couple of weeks. But I wanted to make sure that I had pieces that I wrote in here. So there's no issues with copyright. I don't have to get licensing. This is all my music, so it's all me. It's just all part of that Master's Capstone project. But again, this is a piece that will be playing through the game at different points. I haven't decided if it's going to be the main menu or what. But in addition to that, I will be also doing other pieces of music that'll get released here and there. I might put them up on YouTube, haven't decided. But this was a quick midweek update as I'm working through this. On a slightly different note, I at least got a texture problem and rotation problem figured out between Unity and Blender, namely due to the fact that Blender literally is going, X, Y, and Z are here. The problem is that Unity has X, Y, and Z on different axes. So when I'm editing it in Blender, then I have to remember to have the entire thing turn 90 degrees effectively on the X-axis, so that it reflects how Unity would be importing this. So you see there, like that's how that is, and the cube is in that same format here. It's kind of be a little easier to. This cube's actually, I think, in that position in Unity. Yeah. So this way you can see them green, red, blue, green, red. Actually, it does match up on here, but for whatever reason, it's just that matches up now. Normally, the way this would be is if this were on the x-axis. That's where the x-axis is, so it's the whole thing is rotated on the y-axis effectively. So to try to get it to match up, obviously you gotta maneuver it around so that it looks accordingly. Anyway, that is at least solved. So now when I have to make more of these cubes, now I know how to do it correctly and make sure that the textures actually follow correctly. But wanted to add that on also. Okay, another quick update. This is midweek. One of the main things that I've been struggling with is just trying to get this, or get an item, an object, to go from emissive to not emissive. Now, to do that with a normal primitive object actually isn't that hard. This is what I've got right now. This is, emissive, non-emissive, emissive, non-emissive. Get the idea. The caveat is I need to be able to do it so that it's going from this unlit color to this lit color and back and forth. The dark color is basically just saying this is non-emissive, this is emissive, this is just the lit color underneath of it as a whole. But I can do that with the general prim. I need to figure out how to export the object from Blender, where I can then alter what these colors are on the object without altering them in Blender. I need to be able to alter those in Unity, and that's my sticky spot. Now, if I can figure out how to do that, all of the rest of the cubes become, oh my god, so much easier to make, because then I just make the cube in Blender, cool, then save it whatever format, dump it into this, and then I can just alter these colors here. Real quick, just by way of explanation, let's see. This is a rough bit of the coding that I am working on. It's really not that complex. I mean, that's the entire script right there. And even then, this could be shortened by getting rid of the debug, but it's just, this was me making sure everything works. But it's actually pretty straightforward. Dark color, light color, unlit color, lit color. It's effectively, this is just making sure it's the unlit color I need to absolutely stay out of the way. The dark color actually affects the emission specifically. So it turns the emission down to off. That's why it's different from the unlit color. The light color and the lit color are the same exact color, but that was by intent. There will eventually be a red version and a purple version of these as well, because of mechanics. But that is the update on that specifically. After messing around a bit and exporting the cube as an object instead of importing directly from Blender, I at least kind of got a step in the right direction, getting it to do this and this. The problem is it's doing it for the default. It's literally doing the absolute reverse of what I need it to do. But you know what? That's still a step in the right direction. So I'm going to call that a positive and chalk that one up as good. But I'm still going to fix it. Again, small update. So after some finagling and messing around with Unity, figuring out in Blender that I need to export as an OBJ file, altering the coding just a little bit. It's not, all that substantial. I'll explain what I've done here in a little bit. But at this point now, what I can actually do is just by pressing the spacebar, unpowered, powered, unpowered, powered, unpowered, powered. So that at least is changing. So that is proof that I can do what I need to do. The caveat to all of this is going to be trying to make sure it still works, but at least this is the primary mechanic that I need to get working before I can really go any further with the game. And this has been stressing me out for 2 days, and every single complex tutorial I have seen does not help for this specific situation. Because all I'm trying to do is just change this texture here that is this blue from this dark blue to this light blue and then back. What I'm going to end up adding is a for while loop and just changing it so that it progressively changes to the lit version versus the unlit version. I still got to make sure that I can get the emissive part to work yet, but at least this is the right direction. So yay, I'm a lot better off than I was yesterday. One last quick update for this week, and then I think I'm going to call a wrap for this Devblog. There's one other thing that I was fighting with while I was working on this. It is going to become very apparent very quickly that there is something a little off. So when I go into play, this part does definitely work where this is the way that it was working. Which is, if you were in this setting and you went to that, it just changed the color. It didn't actually change the emission level. Figured out what was causing that specifically, was that this global illumination needs to be set to real time instead. At that point, it actually goes fully emissive, and that was something I was struggling with. I couldn't find documentation for it very easily. But now that just works. So that's it for me this week. We'll post next week with another update. Again, this is my master's project for creative technologies at Illinois State University. Follow along, like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for being here. Peace.